So this afternoon, we're asking, what's the proper way to settle a row at work? Let's talk to employment lawyer Jodie Hill. Hi, Jodie. Thanks for joining us. So if you are in a dispute at work, what's the best thing to do? I'm guessing not get into the cab of a digger and rip the front entrance apart.
Quite, yeah. There's definitely other ways to deal with it. And in the first instance, employers should be agreeing before they make any deductions from pay. If they make a deduction that employees aren't agreeing with, then they need to raise a grievance. They can do that internally. And if they still can't resolve it, they need to be looking at bringing a claim in the employment tribunal. So it's a free access claim. The fees aren't there anymore. So if you have a dispute, there are the correct methods in which you can recover that money if it's rightly due to you.
It sounds as though it's quite a long, complicated process, though.
It can be. However, if it's just money that's being claimed and there's no other claims such as unfair dismissal or discrimination, then those claims can be resolved extremely quickly. And the tribunal are very quick with dealing with the much smaller claims, especially where they're a low value. You can do it yourself as well. You don't need a lawyer to do it.
So what do you do?
So you issue a claim in the employment tribunal, but to do that you first have to go to ACAS. They are a government-funded body and they try and settle the claim really before it goes to before it goes to the tribunal. And once it goes through that process, if it doesn't settle, you are then able to issue a claim, but you have to go through that first. So you've got two options there. You go through ACAS. If it doesn't settle, you then go to the tribunal. Both of those services are free.
Okay. And if you're trying to negotiate with your employer before you get to that stage, have you got some top tips on that?
Sure. So if you're trying to negotiate with your employer, always check your contract of employment and see whether or not they had the right to deduct that money. If you agreed it in writing, then you're very unlikely going to succeed in that argument. So if you can show them that it's not in the contract, then that's going to help you to succeed in those arguments. And secondly, just keeping an eye on your pay slips and things like that to keep a record of anything that may have been deducted so that you've got evidence of that.
And if you are self-employed and you haven't been paid, what's the options there, really quickly?
So self-employed is very different. You'd look at the county courts or the small claims court. You're not covered in the employment tribunal, so there is a fee there to recover that money.
OK. And that's pretty straightforward to do as well, just time-consuming, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it is. There's an online form that you can complete to do that. So, yeah, it's one of those things that most people do on their own. Again, a relatively straightforward form to fill in online.
OK, good to talk to you. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.